So let's go into Trump, right? Trump is that person that came into power, did it so outside of the traditional ways of dealing with politics. Politics will never be the same because, and I don't know if it's good or bad, to be quite honest with you. A lot of things got exposed. A lot of people that play the game of statesmanship and refined politicians, you know what I mean, are now you're looking at this guy and say, okay, listen, we need a little crazy these days because it's the only way that's gonna. So the man came in, changed the game, loses the election. Nothing happens for the first 2 years, up until the point that he makes it very clear that he's going to run again, and then all hell breaks loose. I can't even explain to you how. I mean, guys, you're talking about the worst nightmare that you can potentially have as a business is to have a judge to say we are going to terminate your licenses, your ability to do business in a state altogether.
Where all of your shit is.
By the way, you're talking about hundreds, if not thousands, of people that will get affected, right? And
Job-wise.
just jobs, the economy.
Yeah.
Let's assume that every single one of the Trump facilities gets to be shut down, right? And I'm sure that there was going to be choices at some point to either sell it. You know, I know that at that level, there's a few things that you'll be able to do, right? What they requested right now was a motion to state. A motion to state is essentially say, we're going to take our case to the Court of Appeals because we don't agree with your ruling. So we're going to explain to the Court of Appeals why is it that we don't agree, that we don't believe that you should have the right to terminate our licenses. And in the meantime, you still have the ability to operate.
Yeah.
So essentially, you have the threat over you.
Yeah.
You have the threat over you.
Yeah.
You have the potential risk looming over you.
Yeah.
Right? And that just buys you enough time to either decide, do we have a good argument or we still going to lose the argument no matter what? What do we do in the process?
Is this the same judge that said that Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million?
The same judge.
This
Correct.
is a freaking like.
Correct.
Are you are you
Correct.
shopping, by the way? Like,
So-
let's go.
so,
Like,
hey,
let's put our money together and buy
I called a
Mar-a-Lago.
few friends and I said,
I'm
listen,
like-
how about we take that deal? You know what I mean? Because an
Jesus.
empty lot next to Mar-a-Lago, an empty lot, there's almost close to
Empty, meaning
empty.
like
There's nothing in it.
Yeah.
It's
not
worth-
even a cow.
It's worth $200 million. Just
checking.
just the dirt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just the dirt. And so when you have, but listen, the Attorney General Letitia James, that literally this videos again running into when she was running for. That's how she got elected. I'm gonna go after Trump. So this was politically motivated. The man decides to run for president. They throw in everything against him, not just the kitchen sink, but the kitchen itself, right? And this liberal judge, Arthur Engoron, is the one that, again, said $18 million for. You know, you look at the man, it's scary. This is a clownish-looking individual. You know what I mean? That you don't even, and you go like, these are the people that have the power. You know how scary it is.
Yeah.
This is where again a democracy, right?
Yeah.
You know, these are the flaws of
Yeah, I get you.
somebody that will have the power to, and the judicial though, you know what I mean, to have that much power to say hereby your business is shut down.
Yeah.
Who the hell? How is that even okay?
Yeah.
We're not talking about a little bodega in
Yeah, I
the
get
corner.
you, yeah.
You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
this is a multi-billion-dollar business,
So
right?
I feel like this is a weird space because I'm not sure who should have more power between government or business. You know, like my brain wants to say businesses should have more power. You know, I'm not sure if that's true or not in certain situations. And what I'm saying is this. So it reminds me of the situation with what was going on with Disney. You know, we're gonna bring up Disney again, right? So I feel like Disney they do too much for the state, for the government to say, I'm gonna stop what you're doing, and you shouldn't. Not only should you not be allowed to do that, that's bad, not only for business, but it's bad for the state. So then the state shouldn't be allowed to do something that hurts the state itself, even if I don't like you. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't know how big of
If they're doing business, yeah, but if they're doing business, you should be allowed in to help them. Like anything that is expansion, anything that is operations, anything that deals with, you know, if it's a theme park,
Yeah.
have fun, But the problem with a corporation when it goes into having the power to dictate certain narratives, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like right now, the three biggest investment corporations are dictating the green movement agenda.
Gotcha.
That everybody so when you're talking about the World Economic Forum, literally announcing that by 2030 or by 2050,
World eating crickets.
yeah, nobody will be driving. Like
Yeah.
you won't even own a car.
Correct. Yeah.
Like the funny thing is that
So-
the funny thing is they say you won't own a car,
Yeah.
but you will still have the ability to use an app like Uber, so that somebody can come and get you. Then who owns the cars? If I don't own the car, who's going to own the car that's going to come pick me up?
Yeah.
Right? But
So-
but to me that issue with Disney was heading in that direction
Gotcha.
where they wanted to dictate things about family. That's outside of your business functionality. That's not what the Trump organization was doing in New York ever. It was all about construction, new companies, new
Expansion.
opportunity, expansion of business, the expansion of the brand. Regardless of anything though, if you really go by the book and you're gonna subpoena everybody who at some point, either intentionally or by mistake, representing the value of something, at the end you got it. The question is, where is the harm done?
So
like who got
to me, I
affected?
think it's sorry to cut you. Let me just say this real quick. I think it's the same thing because I feel like the issue is that business and politics are going to be merged at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So then, for example, if I believe in something and I own a business, right, my beliefs are going to bleed into that business.
In
Right?
my utopia,
Go
let me
ahead,
tell you
go
about my
ahead.
utopia, because you asked the question,
go ahead,
you
go
said,
ahead.
I don't know who should
Yeah,
have
yeah.
more power,
got
government
you.
or business.
Yes.
In my utopia,
Yes.
I look at it like a soccer game.
Okay.
And the government is supposed to be the referee.
Got you.
No one should vote. Like the teams get to hatch it out, right?
Yes,
they get
yes,
to play.
yes,
They
yes.
get to do so. For me, government is meant to make the rules and like put rules in place to make sure that this team is not killing the other team, like quite literally killing
got
the
you,
other
I
team.
got you.
But it's meant to like you're meant to like have some punches. You're meant to tackle some people. It's soccer.
Yeah.
And so in the game of business is freaking war.
Yeah.
For me, government has to regulate it, but in no way, shape, or form should government have the power
Mm-hmm.
to like say you win and you lose.
But what if we know, like in most
No, that's-
sports,
it-
a
it's
lot
not
of sports,
utopia.
what if the players get so rich to where they start paying off refs? Now I got to question, what is this ref doing for what? Do you get what I'm saying? So then we know that businesses influence governments, right? And then if I got
it's
enough
called
money,
lobbying.
yeah. So then if, like what I was trying to say is, if my politics is going to bleed into my businesses, then I'm going to try to shut down your business because of the politics. So I feel like in both senses with Disney and with Trump, they don't have issues with his business. I think they have an issue with his politics. And then so because they have an issue with this, I'm going to find every way to shut down your business, which...
I'm gonna weaponize the justice system. Justice is not meant to be in politics.
I agree,
at
but
all,
what I'm saying is I understand why
whatsoever.
they're doing it. Now, like I said, I have an issue with it, but I understand why they're trying to
But
do
that
it.
is,
Is what
but
I'm
that
saying.
is essentially
But
the problem
that's the
because we
point.
have that is the problem though. That essentially, and by the way, just so that you know, because of statute of limitations, 80% of the case is basically thrown out. So the last 20%, as a matter of fact, originally Trump was suing, the judge was suing, the attorney general was suing. They already dropped those lawsuits because they realized that the other 20%. But so now the strength of that case went from being something super scary, but that still doesn't take away the power from that judge to be able to say, you know what, I
tell you
hereby
something?
I have the power to shut your business down. And listen,
Yeah.
I agree with you. It is a political move.
Yeah.
Not only that they want to discourage you, they want to destroy you. They want to make sure it's like, how dare you,
Yeah.
right? Think that you can jump into ruin the party we have going on. Right, because remember, this never happened.
Yeah.
Not even the first
So,
time that he was
I
running.
got it, but then here's my question then. So then I don't know if we can stop them in this situation, right? But then be okay with someone else being stopped when it's not something that goes with
I
what
don't
I
want this
believe
kind
in.
of game to
Whoa,
happen
whoa,
to
whoa.
anybody.
Hang on.
No.
So-
guys, let me make this very clear.
Yeah.
If I disagree with you politically,
Mm-hmm.
right, I think that if you're going to compete at that level,
Yeah.
it should be your ideas, not the business that took you a lifetime to build. I don't care how extreme left or how extreme right, because now you're going against your own family. Listen, that would be worse than the mafia. You know what I mean? It's like you want to destroy somebody financially. You want to destroy that family financially. You want, but by the way, talking about the many casualties, the innocent bystanders. You know what I mean? All the families that work for these organizations, they're going to be laid off just because you don't like my political position. You're going to have, what difference is between this and that shit that we complain about what happens in Cuba or Venezuela right now?
So literally, that's what I'm going to tell you exactly, like, this is a tale and it's a warning. This dude loses the ability to do business in New York because some judge decided to do that. That is no different than this thing. You can look it up. It's called Lista de Tascón. And it was a list that was put together for people in Venezuela that actually voted against a referendum. And the moment they voted no, the back of their ID was marked with a giant X. Gotcha. So if you were to go into a bank and you wanted to get a credit, because you had an X in your thing, the bank knew exactly your political position, and therefore you were not granted a credit. You were not granted the ability to do business. So all of this shit really, all of these things, I don't want to get canceled, but it's all of these things really matter to everyday people, because if at some point you want to do business but you vote for the wrong party, this is what, look it up, Venezuela, Lista de Tascón. It's really freaking scary.
I just want to make sure I'm clear. I agree this shouldn't happen. But what I'm saying is if it can't happen here, it also can't happen with companies like Disney. And I don't agree with Disney's views. But what I'm saying is I don't want the government to be allowed to say, Disney, you can't do business because I don't agree with your views politically.
But
that's what I'm saying. So you think they were trying to shut down Disney because of anything outside of politics?
Shut down Disney?
No.
Yes, they were trying to shut down Disney.
That's not what happened.
So then everything that they were doing as far as fining them for having immigrant workers or fining them for everything, they're trying to stop them from doing business the way they were doing business because they had a city that was allowing them to now push an agenda where they have they're teaching kids about as far as what type of books they should be or shouldn't be reading. That was what the whole thing was about. It had nothing to do with any money. It's about, I don't like the way that you're running a town. And you shouldn't be allowed to run a town as
because it is a business. A business does not run a town.
But what I'm saying is, where do you draw the line on that is what I'm saying. Because for you to now say that as a business, you're not allowed to have ideas that you are pushing, then that's the same situation that's happening here. That's what I'm saying.
I understand, guys, I understand what you're saying, but just so you know, here's the drastic difference, though. You didn't have a judge in the state of Florida telling Disney, we're going to pull your license to operate.
Correct. And I don't want them to. That's what I'm saying. I don't want them to.
By the way, everything else that's going on, right? Like they're going to come after him. Like the level of listen, let's assume that it's even somewhere somehow healthy when somebody disagrees so strongly with you that they're going to really put a lot of pressure. Because if you really stand in solid ground when it comes to your positions, you go like, bring it. I'm willing to fight the fight. So I'm okay with the Trump organization, with Donald Trump and his family literally saying right now, bring it. I'm willing to fight the fight. No different than the situation with Disney saying, listen, bring it. We're going to fight a fight. You want to remove that privilege that we have. That was a privilege that they had. All those discounts and all those benefits. Then we have the right to decide if we want to invest additional money in the state of Florida. That was playing out the way it's supposed to.
Gotcha.
I don't agree. I don't like it. Here's my position. They were going back and forth, and at the end of the day, it looks like it's landing somewhere as it is supposed to. At some point, hopefully, rational minds come into place. People will cool off and will say, you know what, this is not a good idea for anybody.
Gotcha.
But I agree with you. Something that was triggered out of a disagreement, out of a position. Somebody took a political position, right? This is different, though. This is different because at the end of the day,
Which one's different?
Was the situation with New York is different in the sense that it's elevated by a single person who says, I hereby terminate your license and your ability to operate. That never happened with Disney. That never
Yeah.
happened with Disney. Not even. Did they put pressure? Did they play a few games here and there?
Yeah.
1,000%. That's the game of pressure. I'm okay with somebody putting pressure against Donald Trump because, like I said, essentially that is going to test his desire, his
Yeah.
capacity, and his willingness to really fight it out.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think this guy's going any. I think that this guy, even if they throw him out of New York, he's not going. At this point, he's too deep in it.
Correct.
And so what is actually taking place is, and I don't know if this is good and bad, right? Some people that are saying, man, Trump is going to lose. You don't understand. Once he becomes the candidate, he's going to lose. And what's actually happening is the Democrats are doing a phenomenal job making him more likable. Like it's right now, he's being victimized left and right, and everybody's going, that's a little too much. I think I'm
Yeah.
actually going to support him this time around. But if that's the guy that's going to lose, and they writing, first of all, I don't believe the Democrats are that clever, but who knows? It's possible. But but even anybody that goes from I didn't have an issue with I didn't like the lawsuit. I didn't like the way it was being. This is not a jury trial. This is a single judge
That's
that
it.
is going
Yeah.
to have. What happened
Which
to
is
it?
crazy.
This is a judge who
By
literally.
the power of God.
Yeah, no. This is even a judge that literally says, you know what? Sometimes the jury gets it wrong. But that's our system. You know
supposed
what I
to be-
mean?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
your
correct,
system.
correct.
And
Yeah.
yes, sometimes we get it right. Sometimes we get it wrong. We get it wrong. But at the same time, you had more people involved opposed
Yeah.
to a single person. Man,
Yeah.
this is a whole different level. When somebody's literally playing God with your
Mm-hmm.
livelihood and your business and all, that's the part that we all got to be careful with. That it goes down to this. To
Look up
me,
that list, y'all.
man. To
I
me,
agree.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
like-
They shouldn't have the power to do so. Yeah.
not like
Yeah,
that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I understand
Yeah.
the comparison you were
It's not
drawing
the
on that, but this is something that was taken to a whole different level.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, listen, we see how the whole thing is going to play out. Here's another thing that happened though, by the state being requested. By the way, he has the right to go to the Court of Appeals whether they like it or not, and that gives them the ability to continue to function. Listen, those courts are backed up to the point
Correct.
that
He's gonna-
they're
yeah.
not gonna hear the first hearing probably 6 months from now. Now, next thing you know, we already in top of the election. So the time that they didn't want to give him,
Yeah.
because every time he requested for just a delay or they wanted to, the time that they said we're not granting you any exceptions, you gotta be here and you gotta be so now this absolutely is gonna open the door for him to have additional time to decide what to do with his business. And politically, it's just going to give it a little more room. So, again, this is one of those things that's going to end up biting them in the back and is going to become an issue. But, guys, I think it's a very scary thing to witness.
Yeah.
Though. Like right now, what you're seeing, this whole situation, what's taking place with Donald Trump, I think at this point, any reasonable individual has got to get to the point of saying, okay, this is really not.
Yeah, they
Nah,
do too
like,
much.
just think about if you happen to be a decent human being who also happens to be a business guy,
Yeah.
and you start at some point you were thinking about running for office, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and you're a good guy, good ideas, and you're like,
I don't know about that one.
I don't know
Yeah.
about that anymore. I think I'm
Let's stick to
done.
business.
Let me stick to
Correct,
and not only let me stick to business, let me stay quiet. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
And
So that
I'd
way-
rather run the country without being out in the open.
Man,
And
let me see what kind of money I can make
Correct,
this.
correct,
year.
correct.
Yeah.
Vote with your dollars.
Like,
Share.
comment, pass it around. Let us know what you're
Share.
thinking. All right. Peace. Thank you.